Mr. President, I rise to support my friend and fellow colleague from York County's legislation that would provide an option for how schools address safety concerns. Mr. President, as a former school director, I can tell you what I loathed and what all school board directors loathe. They loathe one-size-fits-all approaches and mandates. And I can tell you what I loved as a school board director and what I'm sure every school board director who serves the Commonwealth today, and that is flexibility and options. Mr. President, this bill would address a concern that none of us want to face and see in our districts. And having served as a school board director in the aftermath of Sandy Hook, I can tell you I've been through a drill that I never want anyone else to have to go through, but here we are today. And in today's uncertain environment, we need to do everything that we can to provide the tools and the options for each of our school districts to address the needs that they have and the real threats that exist today. Mr. President, this bill provides guidelines and oversight necessary to ensure the safety and security of our students, our teachers, our administrators, and it's done with flexibility to meet the unique needs of school districts and communities. I'm sure that you all know that in my short but eventful tenure here in the Senate, I've made it a priority to remove unnecessary mandates and provide flexibility and tools for school districts all across this Commonwealth to take care of their students in the way they deem best. And I think what's really important to note about this legislation is that these requirements in this legislation are a baseline. There is nothing in this legislation that precludes a school district from requiring any additional training. There is nothing in this legislation that dictates how or if a school district must arm a school police officer, a school resource officer, or a school security guard. That is all left up to your school districts and your school board directors. Mr. President, today's legislation, it upholds those efforts by providing yet another option to strengthen our schools and ensure that our next generation has a safe place to learn as dictated by those people in those school districts, the school boards, and their communities. And I urge my colleagues to join me in voting for this piece of legislation. Thank you, Mr. President.